Hello everyone and welcome back to the DM side. Now, Wizards of the Coast gave us so much stuff to think about. It's just beyond me how much we are getting and how much is going to be dealt out. So today, for this video, we are going to be talking about something that I actually thoroughly enjoy and I love, and it's part of D&D that I didn't actually think that I'd ever really get to experience because it's a bit older D&D, realistically. It's Dragonlance, and as we all know, it was announced that we will be getting an adventure story, an adventure book called Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen, who we all know as Tiamat, and an accompanying board game as well that goes along kind of side by side with the adventure. Now, in the announcement from Wizards of the Coast Live, we actually got to finally see the artwork, and I love the artwork for both the alternate and the regular cover. The alternate cover I think is fantastic, and I will be getting it. It is Lord Soth himself, so I'm very keen. I also, while watching that, was wondering, I wonder if Lord Soth is going to be in the adventure itself, you know, being such an iconic character and now being part of the alt art. Later on, I did go and watch the Everything You Need to Know About Dragonlance video that D&D Beyond's YouTube channel had uploaded, where they did in fact speak more about Soth and the fact that he does have a role to play in the adventure. So whether or not that is a direct BBEG sort of role, which personally I always worry about because he's such an iconic character, statting that character must be very difficult, but I would love it if he was just he shows up and is a player, as in an antagonist, an obstacle for a short period of time. Something else that was mentioned is the board game itself, which I'm really excited to play, and we did find out that there are 6 moments in the actual adventure book, the story, where it does guide you or express that you could perhaps play the board game at this point. So my thoughts here are perhaps this is a way to showcase a larger scale battle with the board game that your players had initially actually taken part in, but during the campaign you zoom in on your players, whereas then later on you can play this war game to showcase how big that battle actually was, because in Krynn it is showcasing and exploring the Great War of the Lance, and so it is very much almost very warlike game, army games. So really keen to see how they navigate with that one. Finally, what we did get revealed in the Everything You Need to Know About Dragonlance video, we also were told about the digital and physical bundles that we should be expecting with D&D products from now on. Now, in the Wizards of the Coast Live, they made it sound like this was a permanent thing. It was going to start happening. We will be getting a physical book and a digital code. You can download the digital book on D&D Beyond. However, that is actually not really the case. And it's a shame that they've introduced this into a Dragonlance video, because I'm not convinced that everyone's going to go and watch that video. It feels like this should have been mentioned in the live, where a majority of D&D fans who are playing across different universes, across different campaigns, will actually see it, which is the fact that the Dragonlance Bundle is the tester to see if this type of product is worth doing. So you can currently only get it from their official website. There's nothing talking about getting it from your local game store just yet. So I'm assuming it's really just more of an American thing right now, because I know in Australia, we don't actually get access to ordering straight direct from Wizards of the Coast's website. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a later down the track digital code bundle that you can get from your local game store if you're in another country. On top of that, they did say the fact that this is a test product. We're going to see if it's actually worth doing these in the future, which means if this doesn't actually sell very well, unfortunately it does come down to money, if it doesn't sell very well and is not received very well, then they will axe the whole idea of digital physical bundle books altogether. Now, I'm not expecting to buy a physical book and then get the free digital book itself. I would love that, but thinking from a business perspective, I understand at the end of the day, they need to make money, and this has been what they've been doing since. Why change it up now, apart from being really nice to the fans who buy your products? I could see them doing more of these bundles where, yeah, you get a digital and a physical book, and then on top of that, maybe you get a DM screen. In the case of Dragonlance, you get the board game, and in the case of future products, you might get a limited edition miniature or statue figurine, kind of similar to the Strahd one that you could get if you bought a certain amount of cases for their little mystery boxes. I wouldn't mind investing in that kind of product, opposed to just being forced to pay for a book and a digital book like we've been doing. Finally, if you don't really know what Dragonlance is, it is a great campaign setting. There are some wonderful novels that you can read to really immerse yourself in it. I randomly came across the Autumn Twilight series, the trilogy, purely based on the fact that I was living outside of the state that I live in, and I went to my local library to look up for D&D stories and books to read to kind of scratch the itch because I hadn't had a group at the time, and I found them and they were amazing, and I'm actually going to go back and read them again to really get myself in the headspace. If you like R.A. Salvatore stuff with Drizzt and the Forgotten Realms, really good books as well, especially because it is more Faerun lore based. It's a little bit dense for my liking. I do find that the Dragonlance books were just easier reads, and they do have that real classic feel to them, and I think it's just because they do come from that sort of era, very 80s vibes, and even the storytelling just kind of feels very high fantasy, and I actually really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to this adventure book. So comment down below what your thoughts are on both of these products. Do you think that you'll be using the board game at all, or are you going to scrap it and play it at the end? Do you think that you are going to combine them together? Are you excited for Dragonlance altogether? Are you already looking forward to Planescape? So comment down below, and until the next video, go roll some dice.